Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to the channel on this glorious March afternoon. I was wondering why the sat-nav was trying to send me another way. Well, I guess I found my answer. So this is my first ride of the new season, 2023. I'm on my way to the bike shop to get a new front tyre, because the last thing they said to me at the end of the season was, oh, you need a new front tyre. And I have a tour coming up in about a week and a half. I had booked the bike in for last Thursday. I'd also booked it in for the long-awaited software update, which would allow me to use these buttons down here for what I want to use them for, rather than what BMW wants me to use them for. But of course, lightweight that I am, I then immediately looked at the weather forecast. And the weatherman said, you know what, that day you want to get your software update done, which is going to take you 4 hours, and therefore they're going to need your bike for the whole day, and therefore you're going to need to get a loan bike and do the trip twice. That day, that day that you want to do that, it's going to be chucking down with snow. So, oh God, well, the weather forecast might be wrong, so I'll wait around a bit. I waited and waited, and the night before it was like, oh, yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty accurate. We might not get snow, but it's going to be damn cold. So I rang them up and cancelled and rearranged, and they didn't have a slot to do both the front tyre and the software update before I go on my tour at the end of the month. So I've had to delay the software update yet again. Oh, RT coming up behind me. You probably can't see it because all you can see is my ugly mug. You can't even see that, and all you can see is my ugly crash hat. What was I saying? Can't remember what I was saying. Oh yes. I have these Kais heated garments. So I've got heated gloves and I've got a heated jacket. And the instructions tell me I need to have a base layer. Now, I only have one garment that fits really as that description, and it's a merino wool and carbon weave or graphite weave thing. So I thought I should probably get some more. And so yes, I've gone and bought a couple of pairs of full base layer top and long johns, and I'm testing them today without the heated clothing switched on. I'm actually quite warm, and that's partly, I think, because I had an awful faff getting the bike ready tonight. First ride of the season, can't remember how the bloody thing works. Keyless ride thing has run out of battery, so the bike just wouldn't respond when I tried to fire it up anyway. Just flashed this red light at me. Took me a while to figure out what might be the problem. Fortunately, it had a stock of batteries. Then I forgot how to set my cardo up. That's right, I've had a new mobile phone since the last ride, so I forgot how to pair the cardo with it. Just a whole bunch of faff. And when you get a whole bunch of faff like that, typically what happens is you all get hot and bothered. And so now I'm sweaty as, well, you know, a sweaty thing underneath all this get up. I'm kind of hoping that the wind, the relatively low temperature of, oh, plus 9 degrees C, great. Okay, well, maybe I'm not going to get any cooler on this ride. I was expecting it to be cooler than that. Anywho, I'm hoping to get a little bit cooler as this ride progresses. And then we will get a lovely new front tyre. I guess I'll have to take it easy for 100 miles or so. I suspect I won't actually get to do 100 miles before the touring starts. There was something else that went slightly wrong as well on the setup. I can't remember what it was. Probably I forgot to connect the phone up. Basically, my entire routine for getting on this bike was shot to hell. Absolutely shot to hell. Oh yes, and once the bike started up, I think the clock on it is set to BST, so I thought I'd somehow spent a whole hour faffing around and I was going to be late for my appointment to get the bike tyre done. But no, as it turned out, the bike is on BST, not GMT. My phone is on GMT, so it's okay, don't panic. But of course, that initial reaction gets your blood pumping as well. So at the moment, all I have heated, I've got the grip set on a 2 and I've got the seat set on a 2 out of 5. And so far so good. We will see how cool I get later on in the ride. If it continues to be this slow, I probably am going to be late. But not drastically. Don't think it'll be a problem. I have decided to go the boring route, simply because first ride of the year. I've not ridden for 3.5 to 4 months. It's probably safer than trying to wrestle this bike through the twisties. That's a little bit of an unfair statement. You don't have to wrestle this bike anyway. Be a little bit naughty, have to do some fancy editing. We'll see how rusty my advanced riding skills are. It's an interesting sign of the times. There's a little company there that sells logs for the fireplace. It says sold out. Obviously, people are fed up with spending money on their gas bills, looking for alternative ways to heat their home. I think I can safely get past this truck because I think I've seen up ahead far enough. Come out nice and wide, give yourself plenty of view, make yourself more visible to other road users, and reduce the chance that someone doing a 180 in front of you to get out of this traffic and go the other way is going to actually hit you. This way, any of these might be turning right here. Oh, well, really? Trouble getting into neutral again. Wow, out of practice. There we go, out of practice. Yeah, another bike coming up behind. You do have to be very, very careful coming through this kind of traffic because other cars just get impatient. I had a friend who had his R1 totaled. He claimed he was riding past traffic at 30 miles an hour in a 60, and the traffic was all backed up and stopped. When a car did a U-turn in front of him, he smashed into the back of it. The impact knocked the car off its rear axle, totally ruined his bike. I mean, it was a total wreck. I have my doubts as to that claim of 30 miles an hour, to be honest. But it's exactly the kind of thing that can happen if you're trying to get past a queue of traffic like that. If you take it too fast, if you get too impatient, could come a real cropper. Somewhere along this road is average speed cameras, I think. So it's been 3.5 months since I've ridden along here, but getting a bit more comfortable now. The sweat seems to be disappearing. Just have to deal with these horrible average speed cameras. Especially the point that I can't actually remember where the last one is. And I don't actually know for certain which way the cameras are facing. I think they're in pairs, so I think they probably can get one number plate. I don't think it lasts very long. I have a feeling this is the last speed camera. Ah, yeah, so you can see there's a national speed limit. Nationals! Up ahead. I'll be gutted if there is another one, because this is 60 mile an hour zone. I have to stop and wait for the other traffic to catch me up if I see one up ahead. I actually did that once. So last year, I went on a trip up to Scotland, and on the way, there was a national speed limit zone on a road like this. Sorry, not a national, average speed zone on the road like this, 50 miles an hour. And I didn't know the road, so I didn't know where the last camera was. And I went past a set of cameras, and it was just ages and ages and ages, and I didn't see one. I thought, oh, okay, so it must have finished. So I ramped the speed up a bit. And I was quite enjoying the ride. And then came round this bend at the top of a hill and looked down, and there was another speed camera. It's just like, oh, you nasty, nasty council people. So I stopped at the side of the road for, I don't know whether it was 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. It was a pure guess. I had the cameras running. And so when I got back, I looked at the footage and worked out my average speed, and it was something like 49.5 miles an hour. By the time I actually got going again and went through that camera, that a little wait of 30 seconds to a minute was just what I needed. This winter in the UK we've had some quite unseasonable weather, and it looks like the local councils have been caught on the hop with the road maintenance. There's an awful lot of potholes which have been, I guess, created by ice, water freezing and expanding overnight, and the council not being in a position to fix it straight away, and so cars go over the top of it, lorries go over the top of it, make the potholes even bigger. And I've not been on this road all through the winter, so it's entirely possible there are potholes where I'm not expecting them to be. Getting to the point now where my legs are starting to feel something of a chill. It's not my legs that have any heated clothing on, however. But my top half doesn't feel cold enough to want to put the heating on. Well, it doesn't feel cold. I can just feel that there is a chill in the air around trouser legs. Whoa. What did I say about potholes? So, yeah, it's another thing, I guess, about the faff, and something I forgot to check. The weatherman today says, well, there might be some big bands of rain sweeping across later on in the afternoon. I didn't check whether I brought my rainproofs with me. That might be interesting. Although, you know, if you're going to ride in the rain, this is the bike to do it in. Oh, police van. And here we are. Oh, police bike. Alright, I guess we'll pick up afterwards.